Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the prediction show. There is an update, that's why the mind is a bit confused. It might be this hat, to be honest. It's been in the cupboard collecting dust for about 12 months, for exactly 12 months, to be honest, because it is Christmas time again. This is the Betslip Generator. This is the machine. We are going to be using this in man versus machine on this episode, and we've got some very, very exciting updates on this. You might already notice the ability to sort the results by a new number of options: risk, time, rating, value, yes please. All of that coming up in this episode. Sunday's games, let's take a look. And if you missed the live stream yesterday, we have introduced brand new metrics to this live last 10 page rather, and it is, as you can see here, the teams to get the most X, most cards, most corners, most shots on target. They are the markets that are offered by Bet365 for this new market, and we can see here most shots Chelsea in 9 of their previous 10 games. Southampton to get the most cards as well. I think we had that yesterday, which landed 9 of the last 10 games. Really good stuff here. Sheffield United are playing today. We will check that one out in a new tab, but this video is going to focus on the Premier League. It's going to be me looking at the Premier League, creating some selections, and then it will be over to the Betslip Generator. Here are the options then, and actually using the Betslip Generator before, I found that Leicester to score is around 1.44. Unintentional rhymes again, but I just think with Van Nistelrooy at the helm, another home game as well. They won the previous game, didn't they, against West Ham, was it, in their opening game? And I think Leicester will take confidence from that, and for them to score a single goal, as they have in every single home game, by the way, 1.44. I do wonder if the odds have dropped since I looked at that yesterday, doing a bit of research on today's games. Let me know what you think in the comments, and also let me know what you think about these games. Can Fulham shock Arsenal? Ipswich, Bournemouth. Bournemouth in fantastic form at home, taking points off many teams, City, Arsenal, at home. Away from home, a little bit different, as we'll see in a minute. They are still 10th in the Premier League, which is fantastic. And then the later game, Ange Postecoglou getting booed, by the way, in the previous game. What do you make of that? Interesting stuff. And then West Brom, Sheffield United. West Brom, in terms of draws, absolutely incredible at the moment. I keep looking down because I've got a new hotkey to pause and unpause the video, so I don't have to edit too much. So I'm going to pause it in 5, 4, 3, 2. So the odds have not drifted as much, 1.44. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Leicester have scored in every home game, new manager, another home game for the new manager as well, which is nice. Van Nistelrooy and home games. I mean, how many did he have as Man United manager? Absolutely crazy. Fulham hosting Arsenal. Manchester City, of course, drew yesterday. They just don't look at it, do they? There's just something wrong with that midfield for Manchester City. Now, for Fulham, their midfield is working pretty well. And in that midfield, maybe today, is Emile Smith-Rowe, who could come back to haunt Arsenal. And it is just 4 defeats all season for Fulham. That is very, very impressive. At home, 2 of those defeats have come, and like Leicester, they have scored in every single game played at home. And Arsenal came out of a bit of a wobble in fine form. They scored 3, 5 and then 2, beating Manchester United in the previous game. Let us know what you think about this one. Will it be a clean sheet once more for Arsenal away from home? They have not been as good this season. In 2024 in general, in the last sort of 12 months, they have been one of the best away teams in England, apart from a few little iffy results here and there. Certainly their record away from home, if we look at all competitions, you can see they don't concede many goals, certainly around this period. A couple of defeats in Munich away from home, in the Champions League, in Europe to Porto, and then to Bayern Munich as well. So what are you thinking for this game? What are your gut feelings? Let's take a look at some other data. Interestingly here, BTTS in 8 of the last 10 games that Fulham have played. Top of this list, Brentford, of course. Arsenal actually don't rank in the top 10 for anything here. They rank in the top 10 for like over 10 corners, but it's 3 out of the last 10 games, so that's not really anything to shout home about. Apologies if me going like this is a little bit distracting. It's because I've got a hotkey, as I said, to pause and unpause the video, so hopefully the cuts will be a little bit smoother. It's Command Shift and O, but for some reason I just can't keep finding it. So BTTS 1.8 for this. What do you think about that? I really do like the way Fulham attack, quite direct. Players like Iwobi as well, also ex-Arsenal, playing fantastic stuff at the moment. BTTS takes it to 2.6. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. We now move on to Bournemouth away at Ipswich, and I've been done a few times by Ipswich this season. Not a few times, a couple of times, backing them to win or draw, you know, double chance. And it was against Crystal Palace in the previous game where I had it, and they let me down. And as you can see, they are still winless at home this season. The probability model has this as a pretty tight game, 36%, narrowly favouring Ipswich. If we hit generate here, we get a 1-0 Ipswich win. Let's see about Bournemouth's away form. They've scored in all but 2 games, and they come into this having scored 4 away at Wolves. They've beaten Tottenham at home, and if we look at their home form, as I mentioned before, they've beaten City, they've beaten Arsenal, they've beaten Spurs, they drew with Newcastle. Absolutely superb job that Iraola is doing there, and I think if Ange was to get sacked, I'm not saying he will, I think he's got a lot of credit in the bank, and also excuses in the bank given the injuries, but Iraola, Thomas Frank, these are real good managers, working with, let's just say, not the same quality of players and not the same resources as these big managers are. Just 3 first half goals at home for Ipswich and just 2 in the second half. So they've scored just 5 goals all season at home. That is not good enough. 0.71 per game, conceding 1.43, which is not terrible. Certainly if you're a team coming up to the Premier League, you know, you don't want to be conceding over 2 goals per game. You don't want to be getting battered like Southampton are most weeks. Only conceded 1 yesterday, but previous to that, getting battered every week. And for Bournemouth, 1.57 goals per game, 11 on the road compared to 13. I was just looking at the timing data as we see that Ipswich have been drawing at half-time in 71% of games. So I think McKenna is keen to not lose any game by half-time. And so far, that has been working. Bournemouth have scored a second-half goal in 71% of their away games. Let's take a look at the odds for this game, Ipswich-Bournemouth. And I remember on the previous Premier League episode for Sunday, we had some great selections, and it was the player prop bets that let me down. So I've decided not to add them in. And I think in the future, I will do separate player prop only selections. So let me know what you think about that. Total goals in the second half for Bournemouth, 1.5 gets this to 3.9. 3.9. Let me know what you think about that, and we jump back because we've got Spurs against Chelsea, and this one, maybe we can do it as a single. I will do it as a single, but it will be on X and Discord, so let me know in the comments what you think about this. And now we will go to man versus machine. So we've got team goals in here, we've got BTTS, and then we've got second half goals, which is not yet supported by the Betslip Generator, but there is plenty of updates to show you. Let's head over there. So here we are then for man versus machine and the Betslip Generator. I'm just going to read you off some of my update notes, which are going to go out by email on Monday. Dynamic adjustment has been added to this, which means if we put in target odds of 5s, but we've only got 2 slips, 2 items per slip, and the odds are not enough, the script will now automatically adjust your settings for you. And coming maybe today or tomorrow is also Copilot, where it will tell you what it's done. It will show you games that have just missed out. So if you've got 65% for a home win and there's a team in Algeria that's 64%, but you might want to know about it, it will tell you in a Copilot section, which is coming soon. Now, the ability to sort the feed that you see is brand new, and you can sort by probability, which is the probability of the slip based on the model, which is important. A very important distinction, not the probability of the total odds of the slip. The odds of the slip you can sort by the value, the rating, the time, so that you get early games first, and the risk. Let me tell you what some of those mean. So the rating metric combines the expected value and the level of consistency between the probabilities in the slip. For example, a bet with high value but inconsistent probabilities within it will get a lower rating than one with a similar value bet and more consistent probabilities across the slip. And for those that are using the API, you're going to get Kelly criterion values in the API as well. And it goes without saying, you know, I would suggest using Quarter Kelly for that. If you are using it at all, because obviously it's multiples, always suggest singles if you're, doing a serious sort of bankroll. Okay, so enough with the waffle. You just want to see it, don't you, in action? So 3.9 are the target odds for us, and we will go 3.9 right here. And then we will go 3 items per slip because that's what it is. We're going to leave the competitions, are we? Yeah, I think so. Let's just let it select what it wants to select. We're going to sort by probability of the slip based on the model. We'll select value bets only. And in fact, no, let's not select value bets only. Let's see what we get if we just select the goals, the team goals as we've got. And then what were the other selections here? BTTS is what we had as well, so we can select that. 65 is quite high, but let's see what it does for us, and then we'll do it twice. No, we can't do it twice. It's a machine, isn't it? We can't be picky. Let's hit get and see what we get, and here we are then, and you'll see as well now there is new additions to the actual slip itself. So you get the odds for the slip, and then you get the odds based on the model as well. So all of the probability values, implied odds, times together, and we get this value percentage here. So this is a value bet, and I'm cautious to, say that because obviously it's multiples, it's a treble in this case. There can be more fine tuning done on that. It's very basic calculation at the minute, which is similar to what you would see on the value betting page, which is all based on singles. So this could change. There might be some variance added to that. But for now, you can see the average probability from the model of these slips, 78%, and that is what we are sorting by. And then as you scroll down, 77%, 1.29 implied odds, 77.2%, 76%. And previously, it was just sorting by the odds of the actual slip, which was fine for the first version, but this is an evolution of this tool. And what we're going to do now is select some games here that are playing a little bit later, and this is again something that I can include in this. Here we go then, we've got one here, 3.11 odds, and it is an away goal in the Confederations Cup. So do you want to be betting on that? It is Zamalek though, one of the better teams in Egypt, and they're away at Enibia. It's like the place where Finding Nemo lives, isn't it? An anemone, hard to say. And then the Moroccan League today at 5 p.m. and then 7 p.m. So I think we're going to go with this one. 136% value based on, as I mentioned, those simple calculations, which I will be improving, but I just wanted to get this version out. I have saved that man versus machine bet slip, and this is mine for the Premier League. I'm sorry that this is a bit of a rushed video today, but I was working on the Betslip Generator and those updates, trying to get them out for today, Sunday, because I know you're all off enjoying the day and you'll want to test it out. So let me know in the comments what you think. Any comment automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. As always, I will announce the winner from the previous video on Twitter, on X. Just a one-time thing because I don't have time to edit this video fully today. And I will see you in the next one, which will be a Champions League special.